Today I decided to do a different kind of video about kind of, yeah, like a testimony why I believe in God and Jesus Christ and all this stuff. Yeah, there's a good reason for it, believe me, so if you want to find out, then stay tuned. So let's say it all began like, I'm 46 today and I was 15, 14, something like this. And yeah, I wanted to start to wear makeup and all those things, and well, my mom didn't want me to start wearing those things and looking black around my eyes, and never mind. But I was like kind of really like any teenager, like trying to find out who I am, where I fit in and all those things, you know, trying to make myself look a little bit more pretty maybe, because I was a little bit chubby also, like maybe 4 kilos too much, you know, not a big deal, but when you're a teenager, it seems like everything is a big deal, I think. Yeah. At least for me it was. So yeah. Anyways. Little by little, I made up my mind that I'm gonna lose a bit weight. You know, I want to lose some of it. Because I didn't feel comfortable in myself. And so I started taking, like, instead of eating the food that we got in school, I started taking just fruit with me, and I had, you know, kind of long days, you know, studying. Yeah, long days. Eating just fruit from the early day until the late afternoon. Yeah. So that's what I started to do, and only when I came home I would eat like a real dinner in the beginning. In the beginning I would really, and not anything, you know, healthy, because I was so starved by then, so I would just, like, you know, throw some chips and sausage in the oven and eat something like that, which is, you know, first you eat fruit all day, and then you put something like that heavy inside your body when you come home. So yeah, I felt that way too. But after a while I did make a kind of a diet plan. And I don't know if I read somewhere that you need at least 1000 calories a day to keep your body going or something like this. I don't know where I got that from. Yeah, but no matter what I ate, I could put like really strange things together just as long as it didn't pass the 1000 calories a day. Yeah, that's what it became. So I started losing weight, and I started losing weight more rapidly and more than I was intending to do in the beginning. Also, I was going for a run, like for 1 hour runs at least every day, and weightlifting like a few times a week at least. I did some Pilates as well, I think. Yeah, I mean, there was no end to all this kind of exercise things I was doing as well. So yeah, in the end, I did become really skinny. After like 3.5 years, I was working 1 year in the family business, driving a bus with, you know, household products, foods and stuff like this around in the small villages around. And I didn't get into cosmetology school the way I wanted to, since I had an allergy and they didn't take people with allergies in there. So after that, 1 year after that, I applied to a kindergarten school, and I get inside this school, and it was for 3 years. So I moved away from home and I lived by myself, and by now I was kind of, yeah, anorectic already. Like I really had just this on my mind, what I will eat next and what I will, how much time I will have to go for a run after, because I never started, you know, throwing up. I didn't manage to do that, which is a good thing that I didn't. So, but I did do, you know, the continuing exercise level just went higher up. You know, I was just doing more and more exercise to make sure that I, you know, lose what I put in, so to speak, so I won't get, you know, gain weight the next day. Because I was stepping on the scale, of course, like at least 3 times, if not more, every single day. So I grew up in a, I don't know if it was a traditional Christian family or, you know, we used to go to church when I was little. We used to go every Sunday to church. And we went to a small, you know, not the main mainstream church in Finland. There's like a few, you know, on the side too. And yeah, so we went to one of those smaller churches, and there was no other teenagers over there, just me and my siblings. Yeah. So as I joined this choir in this other church, where I was, you know, also going to the church on Sundays and whatever, you know. But I didn't really gain friends over there because I didn't have much time for friends, since all I was doing almost was like exercising, and by now I also started binge eating. Like I could have one day of binge eating, the next day I would starve myself, like to eat as healthy and you know, salads and you know, just cucumber and stuff like that. And of course go running and weightlifting. There was a weightlifting like kind of a club over there, so I joined that one too. And I would go there at least 2 or 3 times a week for 2 hours every time. So yeah, I continued losing weight. And by the second or third year, let's say, when I was living by myself, I had lost like over 20 kilos. And I wasn't supposed to. I wanted to lose like 3 or 4 the most. And that's what you know, that would have been like the perfect thing for me. But it didn't end over there. I just continued with this because it felt like every time I came to a goal, let's say, it was like, yay, I managed to do it. Let's do a little bit, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And this way it continued, you know. I didn't even realize that I was like, not a skeleton, because I was also binging out. So I didn't lose, you know, like somebody who is anorectic and just starving themselves. They can die from it, you know. I don't know how fast, but, you know, they get so skinny that it's, they usually put into hospital, because anybody can see that they're completely abnormal with their, you know, the way they look even. But when you're also binging out, also starving yourself, you don't get so skinny. I did get skinny, but you know, there's a lot of skinny people in this world, you know. Yeah, so I wasn't, you know, really alarming to anybody. Just my habits. If somebody really would have known them the way I knew them and saw them, then of course they will know that something is wrong. And that is, of course, the reason why I was living alone, so I could, you know, keep on doing my strange habits without anybody finding out that something is wrong. And by now I did know, and I saw, I think it was, or heard on TV, it was on TV or in a magazine, I think it was in a magazine, from abroad, somebody that was anorectic or something like this, and maybe a model, I don't remember. But somebody who died because she was anorectic, she died from it. And then I was like, crap, do I have this kind of, you know, illness or whatever you want to call it? Disorder? Well, it definitely is a disorder. Nothing is in order. You think in the beginning when you start dieting, you think you have control over everything. And in the end, I had no control at all. It was like my brain controlling me, like, now you eat this, you don't eat that, you don't touch, now you go for a run, now you do this, and I was like completely lost in it. I did have some friends in school that also been like Christians from their background, and you know, like kind of Christians that went to those side churches that been a bit more like how can you call it? Not just celebrating Christmas and going one time to church, but we used to go, you know, more. So we had like a background that a bit more strict, maybe Christianity, or I don't know how you want to call it, but I don't know how you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I did have some other friends in school. We used to have this morning prayer a few times a week, I believe it was, where we gathered and like 6 or 7 girls, and we prayed in the morning. And then we went to our own, you know, classes and all this. So yeah, there was one of these girls over there. She called me this 3rd year of the studies. She called me and asked if I want to come for a meeting. There is like, she went to another church over there. It's not a big difference between them, but never mind. And she said there's an evangelist coming to town for a week, and if I wanted to come for a meeting with her. So I didn't really want to go, and also this same day I had baked a cheesecake that I planned to, you know, eat. The whole thing, of course, you know. There was nothing in between. or this or nothing, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, I decided to go with her. So we met and we went to this church and the meeting was going on, and all this time, I'm telling you, I was sitting there like on needles. In my brain there was this kind of a battle going on, if you want, if you will. Go home, you have your cheesecake over there, go home. And then they ask, you know, if somebody has like a problem or something they want, you know, the priest, there was, no, not just this one priest, there was a few priests over there and this evangelist, if they want them to pray for a special, specific thing. So of course I knew I have to go up there because I was already in a bad place, you know. I really wanted to end my life, but of course, you know, I was too chicken, which was good, to do that and even think about it too seriously. But it did go in my mind a few times too, you know, this is so crappy. What is this life? You don't do anything but this all the time. But after a lot of, you know, go home, go up, go home, go up, let them pray for you, I did go up. And boy, am I glad. My friend was like, I didn't say a word to her. She was just like, afterwards, she said she came after me, like she came up as well. And I told these people around me that I have anorexia, bulimia, nervosa. This, I think, is Latin, like name for it. Yeah. So I told them, that's all I did. And then I was just standing there. They all gathered around me, like in a circle, and they started to pray for me in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. That's all I heard. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. And I gave up a scream like, there's no better way to explain it than scary kind of animal scream that I didn't do on purpose. It just came out of me and I started crying like a little baby and I fell on the floor. And I don't know for how long I was like that until they helped me up and they asked me, you know, how I'm feeling and do you feel better? So yeah, of course I did feel better. I knew it because, you know, my mind was completely free of all those battling thoughts and, you know, what I should and shouldn't do. So that's kind of the end of my story or testimony, if you will, and why I have a belief and trust in Jesus Christ and His healing power. And it goes on, you know, for every day. We have somebody, if you believe there's somebody there who will hear you, you can pray, you have somebody to pray, to talk to. Because life is not easy, you know. There comes new obstacles as you go along, but it's a journey, you know. And I'm really happy to still be on this journey. And yeah, so hope you have a really good day and hope this helped somebody.